whether you're 99 or 1 today, and whatever the circumstances are, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. If you want to find out, you know, they say today everything's about knowing who you are and really feeling good about who you are. Turn back to the book of Genesis sometime and you can read what? How was I created? In the image of God. I mean, absolutely wonderfully and fearfully made. That fearfully there, it doesn't mean that we're afraid of God because He made us. It's the old English word for reverent. You know that God made us, and He made us in His own image. He's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We're body, soul, and spirit. And then He put something within us that has a reverence toward Himself and looks for God. And David says, in spite of my past, in spite of everything that I've gone through, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. If you have trouble with knowing who you are, look who made you. And you'll start seeing yourself better and seeing what you can be and what you can do. And seeing what God has in store for you. Okay, 139, verse 14. I will praise Thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are Thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. He knew how to make me. He knew how to make me. We're going to see in just a few minutes that He knew me before I was born. And you say, wow, how in the world did He do that? He knew what I was going to do before I started doing it. He knows everything because He's God. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Verse 15. My substance was not hid from Thee. And this is written in Old English, but it also comes from Hebrew words that were used as metaphors and euphemisms, and that's a whole bunch of big words to mean that they had their own way of saying stuff. You know how we have our own way of saying stuff today? They had their own way of saying stuff, and here's what it is. My substance was not hid from Thee. In other words, David was saying, I was going to be a king. You already knew that. I was going to kill a giant. You already knew that. I was going to get in trouble a couple. You already knew that. And still what? And still you loved me. My substance was not hid from Thee. When I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Now that's not God saying that he was built in hell and then lifted up so he'd be Hellboy number 3. That wasn't it. That's not what he's talking about there. What he's saying there, that's an old Hebrew way of saying, in a secret place I was made. He's saying that in my mother's womb I was conceived and life was formed. And he says, from the time I was conceived, you've known me. When I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth, thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in the book of all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned. Now, did that make any sense to anybody? Let me explain it to you. What it's saying there, he says, as I look back at the end of my life and how things have continued through to the end, I realize that you were here where? In the beginning. You were with me from the time I was conceived, and you've been with me all the way along. If you're having problems today, if you're having problems, like we said just a minute ago, with family, friends, finances, this, that, the other thing, anything coming, you can be sure of one thing. God knew about it, God knows you, and God is going to be with you. You know, the problem with most people, including me, and I think everybody else that's in here that's breathing and vertical, is we like to work it out on our own. Have you ever had somebody give you a suggestion about something